G'day from Single Malt.
Hey, I'm Brad. G'day again. We've covered some ground so far in the last few months, haven't we? With looking at the regions and the finishes. And this time for the last one, we've got a real little beauty for you. This is awesome. We're tasting another Benriach, but this time it's been aged in casks that were previously used to age Pedro Ximénez, which is a very rich and intense type of sherry that's made in Spain. It's essentially a wine with brandy added to it to fortify it or to make it stronger. But before we look at this whiskey, let's have a real quick look at how Scotch whiskey went from essentially a backyard industry serving mainly Scotland and England to the globally loved product that it is today.
Well, sherry and brandy, they were the beverages of choice at the turn of the 19th century. Whiskey was a pretty poor cousin, as it was too intense and considered unrefined, a bit like us. In 1863, a little bug like an aphid called Phylloxera, which is native to North America, was brought to Europe by avid English botanists in the plants that they brought over. But unfortunately, it got out and made its way to the grape-growing regions of France and Spain. And then it had a party. It knocked out 90% of all of the grapevines in France, Spain, everywhere. And ironically, these vineyards were replanted with grapevines from California because they were resistant to the bug.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what? You're saying there was no wine, brandy or sherry at the time in Europe? There must have been some bloody thirsty folk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but they didn't like the heavy peaty scotches that were being made in Scotland. So a few things happened. The Excise Act happened in 1823 and the invention of the coffee still, named after Mr. Coffee, not the beverage, in 1831. And that made whiskey production quite inexpensive and gave rise to blended scotches. And they were able to emulate the flavours of brandy, slaking the thirsts of all of Europe. And by the time the wine industry established itself, Scotch had taken over the world.
Right, so what you're saying is not only had the Brits managed to destroy the European wine industry, but they managed to fill the void with their own product.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, that's some seriously aggressive marketing, isn't it? Like, I reckon even Bill Gates would be proud of that one.
Yeah, it's a bit Microsoft-esque, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But this whiskey's really special, actually. Only 3,060 bottles were made in the entire world. The barrels were used to make Pedro Ximénez.
Look, I got to admit, like I'd never heard of Pedro Ximénez prior to investigating this whiskey. You're a bit of a wine wanker, Andy. What can you tell us about it?
I think the term's aficionado.
Is it? Yes.
Yeah. That's what we wankers call it. Pedro Ximénez, we call it PX. It's a grape variety, and it grows in the southern regions of Spain. But when they harvest it, they actually partially dry it out in the sun, like a raisin, and then the semi-dried grapes ferment, and they make the wine. And then they add brandy to fortify the wine, and it gives it intensity and strength, and you get flavours of chocolates and raisins, and it's beautiful and delicious, and it's well worth trying as a digestive if you ever get the opportunity. They use European oak for the barrel, so it's been toasted, so lots of caramelised oak flavours come out of the wood and into the whiskey. I reckon we better give this one a crack. What do you say?
You know,
what do you always say?
Have a look at that colour while I poured it, mate.
It's really dark and rich, isn't it?
That's that European oak.
Yeah. Wow, honey and sultanas. Chocolate?
Yep.
Yeah, right, yeah. Oh, wow.
It's nice. Okay, let's have a
bit of cream as well.
Honey in there.
Oh, you get eucalyptus?
Not a lot, but I tell you, I did get pawpaw.
Right. Okay. It's just so rich, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a cracker.
Look, I got to say, this is, as judging by the amount that's left in this bottle, it's been one of my favourites of the Benriachs that we've looked at, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's really delightful.
Look, once again, we'd love to hear your comments. So email us, shoot us something on the forum, get onto Facebook. Tell us what you think about it, because we reckon this is a cracker. So until next month,
Slán
Slán Sivar.